Hey everybody, I'm Irene Castillo with Expose the Heart Photography, and today I'm sharing with you a few key techniques to capture genuine emotion from your clients. Before we begin, I want to thank the followers who have reached out to me, encouraging me to continue making videos, and for giving me information on the type of content and advice that you were hoping to receive. This video is a direct response to one of our followers who reached out to me and asked me how it is that I capture genuine emotion from my clients. Let's dive in and I'll share with you a few key components that I use at each session to help me accomplish this. Tip number one is going to be the communication that takes place during the in-between or downtime. This is the communication that is going to take place maybe as you're going from location to location, if maybe you're changing out your equipment or maybe they're changing clothing. All communication doesn't have to be geared toward what's happening in the now. A lot of times the couple are so fixated on the session itself that they're having a little bit of anxiety about if they're posing correctly or not. And so sometimes that banter of just talking about other things kind of helps to ease it, and it's not so much pressure on the actual session itself. So the communication, I do want to encourage you to communicate appropriately. You know, maybe you're not talking about what you did last night partying, if you're a partier, I don't know. But you're going to want to make sure that you're communicating with, maybe if it's a wedding, you're going to talk to them about, you know, where they're at in the wedding planning process. If they're having any difficulty finding vendors, you know, this is an opportunity for you to maybe recommend some. You know, if it's a family, maybe you are planning something for the season, you can talk to them about, oh, maybe if you're doing a mini session, you can talk to them about how they plan to use the photos. The key is just to communicate with them about maybe something that they're looking forward to, something that's upcoming that's not right in the now. Allow the client to be the one to share more. Maybe just talk to them a little bit, share a little bit about yourself, or maybe ask them a question that's going to get them talking. So again, we're going to go back to, you know, if it's a wedding, you know, you can ask them how's the wedding planning process going, where they're at in the wedding planning process, what they are looking forward to for the wedding. Some of them may say they're just ready for the planning to be over. You know, maybe you can share, if you're married, you can share with them your experience. The key is to get to know each other during the session too. There's so much that can be shared in that in-between time that may actually be able to be applied to the actual session that you're taking, but it just allows them to just get a little bit more relaxed and comfortable with you and in front of your camera. Sometimes they'll tend to forget that the camera's there. Communicate with them, make sure it's appropriate communication, and just keep it simple and fun. My second tip that I like to do at every session, and that I want to make sure that I'm continually doing throughout the session, is giving detailed direction. Believe it or not, genuine emotion does come out when you are giving your client an exact play-by-play of what to do. Coaching your subject and giving them a play-by-play assures them that you're paying attention to the detail and that you're actually setting up the shot with the vision in mind. This can be achieved by cueing certain movements, poses, transitions. As I mentioned, a good example of this would be maybe you have a couple together and you're stating to them, I want you to go in for a kiss. I want you to slowly move apart and just stare at each other and pause for a moment. That's a lot of direction for just one shot, but then you get a chance to kind of step back and let it all play out. They're gonna feel a little awkward. Maybe they might feel uncomfortable, but that genuine emotion, whatever it is that they're feeling, they're responding to one another, and that's what you wait for to capture. Tip number 3 is going to be to provide your subject support. And by support, I mean something or someone that's going to help your subject feel connected to their surroundings. This can be someone in the photo to hold on to or respond to. It can be an object to lean on or against. It can be their own hand to hold, hair to flip, or arms to cross. You get the idea. It's a task that you're giving them, a prompt to help them feel grounded. Okay, so tip number 4. 4? Yeah. 4. It is what I'm going to call my sneak attack. I don't know what to call it, but what it is it's the moments that take place when your client doesn't think that you're looking. Sometimes you get a client or clients that just stiffen up in front of the camera. They won't relax at all for photos. They're just on edge or they're anxious. They're so on guard that all the other tips just kind of end up looking like, they get you there, but not fully, right? This my friends, this is where the sneak attack comes in. Are you ready? It is so simple, but I swear it works. I will put my subject or subjects in position and get everything set up. I'll see them kind of start to stiffen up and I'll say, okay, hold on 1 second. I'm just going to adjust my settings. And I start kind of like fumbling with my gear equipment or my camera a little bit. 9 out of 10 times, they will just like relax, or they just kind of like, they're still kind of in position, but they're just kind of waiting for you. They start talking to one another, or if it's just one person, you kind of see them like let out the sign of relief, like just like, okay, cool. Like I can relax a little bit. Genuine emotion comes out, and I'm actually ready for them. I'm just saying this so that I can see how they change. Because when they think that the camera's not looking, they do. They let out this like sigh of relief, or they just kind of get back to like, oh, I'm not in picture mode. And that's when I start snapping away. I can capture laughter. I can capture, just like, okay, like I'm good. I can breathe. But yeah, that's my sneak attack. And now this is not something that you want to use throughout the entire session, because then they're going to start to doubt you. And then that can also like put them on edge. They're like, my photographer doesn't know what they're doing. So don't do it the entire time, but this is definitely one of those tricks that you can kind of pull out if it's like your last resort. You're like, oh, okay, I'm just going to get my settings, kind of fumble around and see how they respond. I guarantee you 9 out of 10 times you'll get something good, I promise. Okay, now there are a few sneak attacks that I use. So this isn't just a one-trick pony. If you're using a mirrorless setup, turn on your silent shutter. If your camera has this option, it is a great way to capture moments with your subject and they don't even know that you're capturing them. Without hearing that shutter, sometimes the couples or my subjects, like whether it's one or multiples, I start taking pictures and they're not hearing it. And so they start to kind of like question, like, what's going on here? They'll usually ask like, are you taking pictures? Be ready. I'll tell you, I'm always like, yeah. And I start taking photos and they kind of were like, oh, okay, I didn't hear anything, or they might just be like, okay, like they don't know what's going on because they're used to hearing, especially if they've taken photos before. But most people, they know what a shutter sounds like. Somebody's been around a camera. Even our cell phones make the noises. So they're expecting it. When they don't hear it, it kind of confuses them, throws them off a little bit, and some genuine reaction comes of it. Be ready for that. Be ready with your camera to capture those moments, because it's usually followed by like confusion, genuine laughter, a little chuckle. Genuine emotion will follow for sure. And so it's a great option. It's another little sneak attack that I love to use, and it kind of plays a little bit of it allows a little bit of humor with the couple. Now my most frequently used sneak attack that I use often throughout my sessions is a more voyeuristic approach. My couple or my subject does know that I'm taking photos. I give them direction. I'm still following a lot of the tips that I've shared with you in this video, but I take it from a distance. I step back. I'll still provide them a few poses, directions, movements that I want or expect, but I take them at a distance. And as they go, it's direct. I'm like, okay, I want you to go over there and I want you to spin. I want you, whatever it is that I have them do. I give them multiple options. I'm not saying this is the pose I'm going to have you position in. This is what I want you to do. This is the movement that I'm going to want you to do. And then I send them off. I let that baby go. And they usually will go and they're like, okay, I could do this. And they go and they do it. And either they're going to respond and look for you and like, am I doing this okay? With kind of a little laughter. Maybe they're uneasy about it. They're kind of giggling. Or you'd be surprised. Some of them just like work that diva inside them and just be like, yes, I am doing this. How do you like them apples? However they respond, that's what I capture, but it does capture genuine emotion. It's usually some laughter. They might just start the pose and then like, wait, what did you say? And then start chuckling because they don't remember. Or They let that inner diva out. All right, so those were my tips. I hope you're able to take something informative away from this today. I want to again thank the followers. Thank you so much for reaching out to me and letting me know just how important these videos have been to you. This past year was rough for us all. And so I'm happy to hear that so many of you found a way to connect through David and my channel. Be sure to let me know in the comments below if there's a specific subject that you'd like me to cover. Hit the like button or subscribe button to catch more videos. You can hit that notification bell and we will notify you when a new video is out. Y'all stay safe and we will catch you next time. Peace.